No.
No. Okay, we're live in 6, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in today. My name is Stefanie from TAEX, and I'm here with the amazing Marina Abramović. It's a true pleasure to be able to talk today about the Marina Abramović Element, which is a project we've been working on for over now a year. And of course, this creative, avant-garde, amazing personality is here today with us and is happy to explain more about why she took on this project. So Marina, welcome. It's very nice to see you today. Could you tell us a bit more what excited you about creating an avatar? Why you decided to embark on this journey?
Oh, you're asking me the question right now.
Yes.
I think, first of all, I wake up in the morning and I try to see the world with the new eyes like a child. I'm curious about everything and what's going on. And of course, technology, artificial intelligence, all the new things, that we are having now in our human life is interest of me. I came from generation of fax, Xerox, and telegram. We didn't have computer, didn't have mobile phone, and revolution is incredible. Of course, I'll be interested, and of course, as an artist, like to know more and work with this material.
Amazing. We're going live next week on the 18th of June. We'll be showing the first chapter, which is the art. What specifically excites you about that collection and those performances that we are showing?
The first thing about this collection is actually I'm learning. It's like a pioneer, I'm like a first step. The learn to walk. I have to learn about technology. I remember getting first computer. You have to learn the language of computer in order to understand. If I come from performance art, and we do performance. You have to learn the language of performance. But also, public have to learn to understand what are you looking and the way how to perceive it. Same with this technology. So I learned stuff, and I'm so interested to use my own knowledge of performance and transform into this the ideas of avatar in the just new and fresh way. So I'm very excited because it's brand new media for me.
Amazing. And I remember when we were all brainstorming together about the age that the avatar would have, and we asked you this question. You surprised all of us because we thought you were going to go for a young avatar, very young avatar. And then you said it was going to be 60 years old. Could you explain why you made that choice?
Oh, it was very important. I really felt I would never like to go back in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I was miserable. I really didn't know much about the world, and I made the same mistakes over and over again. There was lots of suffering. But one thing about old age is that actually you get wisdom, and wisdom is something so precious. And now, not only that I'm 60, but I'm, getting next year my 80. So I was really looking, the 60 was the right age for Avatar to actually can share that kind of wisdom with the larger public.
Amazing. So we have, as announced today, a few extra speakers, a few guest speakers that would love to ask you some questions. The first one will be SeedPhrase. SeedPhrase is a major collector of digital art. He's a curator, and he was actually present at the event that we had on the 8th of April. So welcome, SeedPhrase, and I'll give the stage to you.
The face too. Hello. Yeah, without
You're muted.
no
You're
head,
muted.
no.
You're
Take it
muted,
head.
Daniel. You're muted.
Yes, better. People don't have much hair these days. You have to show.
Yeah, I have to show it. It's hot where I am right now, so I've been trying to protect myself from the sun.
And I am in wonderful.
Good to see you again.
In Austrian Alps, fresh air.
Really. Yeah, it would be super nice there. It looks beautiful in the background as well. I'm in Ibiza right now.
So, what is your question? I'm dying to hear.
Yeah, obviously, I'm a big fan, and we got to meet a few months ago in London. And my question is that much of your work explores the limits of presence, vulnerability, and endurance in the physical space. How do you translate these deeply embodied experiences into the intangible digital worlds of NFTs without losing the emotional intensity?
You have to approach completely from different angle. Everybody was thinking, okay, how you can make performance working with a digital world. You know what? You can't, because it's different media. You have to apply different rules. You have to see what is good and what is bad about this media, and how you can translate it into something else and give new message. So my message to Avatar and to this digital world is, get slow down, because everything is so fast. So not the time, it's going to be different way of seeing performance, different way interacting. It's not me doing something, it's you doing something with yourself. It's totally another way, another angle how to deal with that. So I'm kind of using this new media as a new tool, to get around the performance, and teach the participants in this new media, who actually create different sense of time and different sense of presence. And this is core of my work, because if you look just kids how they play video game, everything's super fast, it's going immediately in the same time. I mean, one kid never looked television without zipping the programs millions of times. The concentration is zero. So if you work with me and looking my stuff that I'm giving to you, it's just opposite. You have to start breathing, you have to sit down, you have to forget about time if you want experience. And that's actually core of performance. It's not me being present, it's them being present in themselves.
Great answer. I really love this because you're also, you're tapping into an entirely new audience as well, and basically like, creating this like sense of like timelessness with your performance as well, right?
And which is interesting, that I really have a huge amount of young audience, which I'm so grateful. But then look, young audience, yes, they go to see my performance, and then they go to play video games, or to work in the technology, and everything's too fast. So so I wanted to actually get closer to them, in order to kind of point it on some stuff that can change. We only way to change the world is to change yourself. So it's a kind of pioneer work, and if I can change 3% from audience of millions of people, it's already achievement. You have to be modest.
Yeah, it's an
Amazing.
evolution of your craft that's
Yeah.
appealing to a newer, younger generation. And what we've seen time and time again, that younger generations who have grown up in more of like a digital world, culturally, what we're used to now is iPads and screens. This makes a lot of sense, especially as an artist.
But I have a question for you. Why young generation is so isolated? Why there is some kind of emotional blockage with the reports, with the with the conversations, with people rather send text messages than talk to each other. Why this is happening? And it's not only that happening more; it's happening to the degree that is really worries me. Where this goes?
Yeah, look, like again, I think it's this cultural sort of moment that we're in, right? Like a lot of people are used to interacting and communicating with their peers on WhatsApp and iMessage, through their phones, and we are going through a loneliness issue right now. A lot of people feel lonely. A lot of people don't have that sort of like physical interactivity like they used to have in the past, because it's just so much easier now just to be able to communicate from anywhere globally around the world. And I think something like that it does need to change as well. With time, we need to encourage people to be able to interact and to have those connections again.
Because they protect themselves from the feelings. They protect themselves from the falling in love. Falling in love means pain. They protect themselves from the pain, but actually choosing loneliness and isolation and distance. And that's something you have to change. This is what is my role here. Exactly that.
Exactly right.
Okay, thank you, SeedPhrase, for your wonderful question. We have a
Thanks for
few
having
more
me.
candidates, so you guys can catch up also later about all these big topics. I think the more connected we are, the more disconnected we are. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So
It is,
thank you,
unfortunately.
SeedPhrase, and
Thank you for having me.
keep
Lovely to
following the
see you.
launch next week,
Thank you.
and see you
Bye.
soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Now, the next question will come from a very interesting individual. Her name is Natalie Stone, and she was the former general manager of CryptoPunks NFT. And she's a bridge builder. She's a very big woman in tech, and she's been very excited to speak to you, Marina. So I'll leave the stage to her for her to ask her question.
I'm so afraid what she's going to ask me now because,
No.
because you have huge knowledge on NFT and I'm just learning.
No, you know what? I was just learning a couple years ago, but as you said, time is lightning fast in this space. And honestly, I'm almost overcome with emotion because it is such an honor to even be asking you a question in this format. And thank you, Steph, for inviting me. So I'll get to my question and very nervously share it. So yeah, you've spent decades using your body to create empathy between strangers, but you've also had a lot of work explore the capacity for cruelty in humanity. So with your avatar, are you teaching technology to be empathetic, or are you finding new ways to cultivate empathy through technology?
I am teaching technology. I really, it's so interesting what I'm trying to do. Technology was always invented for the human beings to have more time, but we don't know what to do with this more time because we just addicted in our nature. So we want more technology, and then we don't have no time. And then you get into depression, overworked, and all the other symptoms of overusing technology. So which I always said in the beginning, love and hate relationship. But right now, I really think technology has so much quality. It can help so many people, so many ways, But we have to also learn to have moments in our life to detox of technology, to the moments that you switch everything off, sit silence in somewhere quiet in our house or in the garden, and just think about who are we, what are we doing on this planet, what is our aim, what is all about, where life comes from, we're just so much questions that we always avoid to answer. So my kind of role here is really using tool as a technology to bring public to themselves.
That's so beautiful. I mean, as the avatar and project is in development, I mean, how do you see it evolving as you start to kind of uncover the potentiality to, your words, like maybe stand still?
It's incredible, enormous possibilities. Plus, literally, technology is changing daily as we're talking. It's just like every day. You open the news, there's something new coming, and it's so much to learn. And I'm really in the beginning of learning all this. But I think that the possibilities are endless. Also, artificial intelligence is another incredible subject. I just met recently interview with Hans Ulrich Obrist in now in London with actually he interviewed my artificial intelligence person, and it was incredible that what she was telling he, in I could I is like she knew all the knowledge of any text, any interview, anything I ever done, but then put it into way so well that I could never do it myself. and I was saying like, wow, that's another thing. So how far we can give actually permit or give the control or artificial intelligence to us. And then we are thinking about that really the science fiction of 70s, 80s are reality today. So when you read science fiction of today, what's going on? So who is going to rule the world? The robots, the artificial intelligence? It's a really big question, and how we can actually control things and how we can really understand what's going on by honestly going back in many ways, but simplicity and having the right relation to technology, healthy relation. We don't have healthy relation to technology. That's one thing. And one thing of duty of an artist is to give some kind of guiding line. It's not that I'm answering questions, it's not that I'm solving the world, but at least I can show some ways that really could work.
Amazing.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Natalie. If you have any other side questions, or
I really
it was lovely having you. Thank you so much for joining. It was interesting, Marina, because you were answering a question right from an interview just the other day where an AI student, it's the first ever AI student enrolled in the University of Vienna, was asking you a question. How did you feel while you were answering it? Were you excited? Were you confused?
this was first complete surprise. I never know in my lifetime that, in my lifetime, I always want two things. I want to take the rocket and go somewhere to know what is behind our cosmos. And the second thing I always want to see in my lifetime, the aliens. And I could not believe that, at least that I always wanted to talk to artificial intelligence student. Wow, this is something. Because it's almost
come true.
it was like, who are you talking to exactly? He's invisible. He's not. I can't touch him. I can't see them, and yet it's there.
And so that is I think the latest experience which you've had with technology, which was overwhelming. What was do you remember your very first encounter, your very first experience with technology? How old were you?
When my first technology, I think, was really getting television, and I think I was something like 15, and my brother was like 15. He was like 9, and in our family, arrived this television. We never had television in our life. We're talking Yugoslavia, communist time. So arrived this big box, and television opened, and only what you can see on television was text picture, nothing else. And in the evening will be 3 programs, mostly war movies, and the rest was test picture. And I remember my brother and me sitting in the front of this test picture for just looking absolutely hypnotic. I think this was also my first encounter in meditation. And then I remember, and it was even more fascinating, just about the snowfalls. The television, when it's not working, you have this different snow, and that snow was something to me like a kind of energy particles. There was another planets in different galaxies visiting, our land, and they're going to get out of television and get into our space. It was incredible. And then I made the piece later on when I was 21 in London. I called Television Was a Machine. And this was really very, very kind of funny and innocent piece that I actually have a super 8 camera, and I turn television on the back and I look into inside what's happening, and then I film test pictures, different snow, and and then I call Television is Machine, huge discovery. This was my first encounter.
Amazing. I think what you said about the snow and how, we all experienced real snow, most of us, but then when you see it in a movie, it can still draw your attention a different way, or you can have a different emotion. I think with the Avatar collection, when you have been weekly precising every detail of the rose, right? The scorpion, the octopus. I think it's a similar effect that when we see the Avatar and when we reveal the collection next week, it will be very exciting to see all those textures, structures, colors, is the effect it has. And the previews we have shown worldwide, when people see your avatar, the 60-year-old Marina, and we look at it and we see the scorpion, it's very transcending, it's very hypnotic. And it is one hand you, but it's a different digital entity. But the emotion that we receive is real. And this is what I find fascinating, just like when you watch that movie. What are your thoughts about this?
Can you imagine? I'm just thinking how this avatar still is in the beginning form. And now it's 2026 and we are launching now on the 18th of June. Just in literally a few days. And can you imagine how technology is going to look, let's say, in 2030? So this avatar have a huge ability to actually become better and better and better and better, and turn into really robot, and the robot into really robot with his own artificial intelligence. So fascinate me the kind of grow of avatar in the future.
Mm-hmm. Lovely. So then we'll go to the next people that have a question. So I'd like to call Grida. Grida is actually a curator from Artverse, which is an art digital gallery in Paris. So if Grida is with us, I'm inviting her on the stage. Let's see if she's here. Grida is not here. Okay, then we're going to pass on to Justin, who's also a curator, and he will have a very exciting question for you. I've already had a little sneak peek. Justin, welcome.
Hey there, how's it going?
I'm in the Alps. I'm in the dream.
It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Hey, I was with you in 2011 at MoCA for the gala performance that you did, the An Artist's Life Manifesto.
No, you done?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really
Oh my
amazing.
God. You know how much criticized I was for that, but then on the end, everybody say it was a not bad party. Actually, people remember.
It was amazing. It was such an amazing party. You had all the written manifesto. It was just such an amazing experience as a person to experience it, and it was really unforgettable. It was, we were surrounded by other guests who became part of the work just by witnessing it, and it made me think. It's been making me think about the role of the audience for your practice, and now with this new project on the blockchain. How do you sort of see this medium shaping the role of the witness, whether it's a collector of it, someone how they participate in it, sort of how you are a custodian of performance?
When I made my performance artist is present in MoMA, and I sit there for 3 months, 8 hours a day and 10 hours on Friday when the museum is open longer. It was one of the most demanding work in my life. And when I stand up from that chair, I understood incredible truth that actually the 21st century, the museums can't, and the public in these museums can't just come and look at something. They're bored to go and look something. The artists and entire audience have to be part of something on much larger scale. And then I open my institute, and then I start working with the audience. And then I make very important statement that audience is my public. The audience is the one who actually have to learn to perform and have their own personal experience. And my whole work is actually concentrated on that. It was Serpentine show, 513 hours, with public really took completely 100% participation. That was the Glastonbury Festival, which I asked 275,000 people to be 7 minutes in silence. And then also in a much larger scale now with Avatar and this new media, how I can reach huge amount of public using actually technology as a tool to give my message. And my message is very simple. Slow the time down, get in contact with yourself, and by changing yourself, you can change others. That's it.
No, I think that's a very important thing right now, to really slow down. And I think it's interesting that we can actually use technology like this to slow down. It's really interesting for me to think about too, because historically you've pressed the limits of your body. You've thought about putting yourself in very interesting situations through some of your performance pieces. This piece will live on beyond death or the physical. How is that for you? And I think this is I'm very excited because historically I've loved performance art, but it has had its start and its finish. This will live and continue to evolve. How is that for you as a practitioner, thinking about your work sort of extending beyond the physicality of your body?
But this is exactly the point. You reach exactly where my interest is. All of us are born and then grow and get old and then die. And this is how life goes on, and how the planet works, and how plants and animals and trees is all the same story. So I'm now getting my 80s, and I don't know physically how much I can perform anymore, but then there will be a point I can't, and this is then doesn't mean the performers have to die. The huge actually the possibility and opportunity is making Avatar and actually going back beyond that into immortality, because Avatar can contain your message, contain your knowledge, especially why I chose 60 years old Avatar, because of that being wise and not being stupid when I was 20. So, wise Avatar who can actually share the knowledge and share the wisdom. And that's really why Avatar to me is a huge window to future.
I want to thank you because I feel that. I look always, in a world that we're inundated with so much stuff. Art for me is my sanctuary, is transcendence. And for you to use your body and your practice as your, expression, I think this is one of the purest forms of art. And anyone listening today, I hope you realize that this is a real moment in time where art and tech and everything human and tech can come together and just blossom. So I thank you for that. You gave me goosebumps when you shared that. And I look forward to being on this journey and witnessing it as an audience, collector, participant. So thank you.
Thank you to be with us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful interaction. Loved it. Last question coming from Alien Queen, who's an artist. So we had today curators, we had collectors, and we're finishing off with an amazing artist in the NFT space.
It's not artificial intelligence, non-existing. It's real person.
It's real.
Yes, I'm real.
With us.
I need the real person. Thank you.
I'm so honored to be here. I mean, as an artist, you've been such an inspiration to me. I've read your autobiography, Walk Through Walls. I'm like very emotional right now. And just to have this privilege to speak to you means so much. So anyways, I'll get into my question now. So you have done some of the most memorable performance art. Like my favorites is Rhythm Zero and Rest Energy. And my question is, what is the one thing you will do in the fifth dimension that you almost did in real life? And what is the wildest thing you'll do in the fifth dimension?
Everything which I could not physically do.
Yeah.
This is a dream. The fifth dimension is a dream dimension. Or, you can fly, walk on the fire, levitate,
Yeah.
go to different spaces, go to beyond our galaxy, maybe land on the Mars, all of this. And that's such opportunity. So, like your child dream world open to you with endless opportunities. And then also to take the public, your viewers, to that kind of world. And also one important thing, this is the world that I want to take them without violence, without greed, without brutality, without wars, without pain, because all of us surrounding, we are now dealing with a very difficult moment in human history as we live. And I think we need that other world. When Matisse in the Second World War, when everybody was painting this horrible, the atrocity of the war, Second World War, Matisse entire for 4 years of the war, he painted only flowers. And only when I got my wisdom, I understood actually incredible meaning of that, because we need to be surrounded by beauty, peace, and harmony, and not by to reflect more about what's going on. It's what's going on is enough horrible and the kind of disturbing. We just need opposite world. I want to create the world of beauty, harmony, peace, and also that we really slow time down.
Wow, that's amazing.
Great. So we're running out of time. So thank you so much, ALIENQUEEN. It's very touching to hear, your knowledge of Marina's work and your enthusiasm. And we're very happy to see that the Web3 and digital artists are so well acquainted with the work and they're so excited. It's amazing. That's exactly why I wanted to do this project. And Marina has been working very hard on this project. So we're very excited to release it, the first chapter of it, next week. And now I would like to also thank all our guest speakers. So thank you, ALIENQUEEN. And then we were going to just watch a little bit the video that we showed in NFC Lisbon, which was really amazing, where we see Marina's performances and how it all came together. We had it on a big immersive screen with the explanation. This video will be posted online, and you can find there about Marina's performances in the past and now present and coming to the future in the end. Marina, when you look back at all these moments, when you see this evolution of the artist's presence, of Rhythm Zero, Rhythm 5, and now coming to the avatar, what do you feel when you see this?
I don't want you to feel anything. This is the past. I don't like to, I'm not sentimental and look into my work and say, oh my God, I done this and that. I honestly, ego of an artist, if artists think how great it is, then it's dead of creativity. So I don't care. This is all done for the public, and they have to experience. What all I'm thinking is about now, and what is my future, and what is my duty to create in the future. So I don't want you to look at this. This is not done. All I've done for my audience, and I'm giving this to them.
Amazing. Thank you so much for today, for the wonderful answers. And we'll be live with the collection on the 18th of June. Thank you to all the people watching all over the world. It's been great to have Marina. Marina, have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.